Hi, welcome to my video on comparing two rational numbers. Comparing two rational numbers. Let's do it by method 1, which is equivalent fractions. When comparing two rational numbers, find the LCD, write each as an equivalent fraction with the LCD, and then compare the numerators. Examples: compare as greater than, equal to, or less than. So A, the LCD for 7 and 5 is 35. So we multiply by 7 over 7. And over here we multiply by 5 over 5. That gives us a negative 15 over 35. And that gives us a negative 14 over 35. Now that we have the same denominators, we can compare the negative 15 to negative 14. Negative 15 is to the left of a negative 14, so they are less. So a negative 15 over 35 is less than negative 14 over 35. B, we have a 2 over negative 3. We shouldn't have a negative in the bottom, so let's remove the negative and make it negative 2 over 3. So let's never have a negative in the bottom of a fraction. So now the common denominator for 8 and 3 is 24. So we multiply by 8 and we multiply by 3. So that gives us 9 over 24 and negative 16 over 24. And we didn't have to compare those really, because what? A positive is always greater than a negative. So we didn't have to do the LCD, we didn't want to. It would be automatic to say the positive is greater than negative. C, we have two negatives, so now we have to look. The LCD, well, let's see, we have an 8, and 8 is 2 times 4, which is 2 times 2. That's 2 cubed. A 20 is 5 times 4, which is 2 times 2. So that's 2 squared times 5. And to get the LCD is like getting the LCM. We have to write down each factor as a 2 and a 3. 2 and 3 are factors. We take the largest exponent of 2 and the largest exponent of 5. So that's 8 times 5. So the LCD is 40. So we multiply 20 by 2 over 2, and we multiply 8 by 5 over 5. That gives us negative 30 over 40, and it gives us a negative 30 over 40. And they're equal because they're the same. D, we want an LCD. Very easy for 12 and 6. The LCD is 12. So we multiply the second fraction by 2 over 2. So negative 5 over 12 compared to negative 10 over 12. We have the same denominators, so negative 5 is where in relation to negative 10. On the number line, negative 5 is to the right, so that means the negative 5 over 12 is greater than negative 10 over 12. So what you can do now, when you have the word practice, is that you can work these out yourself ahead of time, and then, that is, pause the video, work them out, and play the video again to see if you're okay. Number 1, we have to take the 4 and make it negative on the top, because a negative never goes in the bottom. Common denominator for 4 and 3 is 12, so we multiply by 4 over 4, and we multiply by 3 over 3. That gives us a negative 9 over 12, and a negative 8 over 12. And negative 9 compared to negative 8, and negative 9 is on the left, so that means negative 9 over 12 is less than. Notice it's pointing to the left. Negative 9 is to the left of negative 8, less than. Number 2, 6 and 15, common denominator. Well, let's see, 6 is 2 times 3. 15 is 3 times 5. So we need a 2, we need a 3, and we need a 5. We need one of each factor to do the LCD, what do you call least common multiple, same thing. And we have 1, 2, there's the power of 2 is 1, the highest power of 3 is 1, the highest power of 5, so that's 6 times 5. So the LCD is 30. That means we multiply the first one by 5 over 5. We multiply the second one by 2 over 2. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 15 is 30. And 5 is to the right of 4, so 5 over 30 is greater than 4 over 30. Greater than is pointing to the right. 5 is to the right of 4. And number 3, I do not even have to do this one because automatically what? A negative is less than. But just for a bit of fun, let's work out the LCDs. 10 is 2 times 5. And 8 is 2 times 4, which is 2 times 2. So that's 2 times 5. And 2 times 2 times 2, that's 2 cubed. So the factors are 2 and 5. The largest power of 2 is 3. Again, LCD is 40. So we multiply by 4 over 4, and we multiply by 5 over 5. Negative 12 over 40, and a 15 over 40. And a negative is always less than a positive, so negative 12 over 40 is less than. Less than is pointing to the left, 15 over 40. And besides, think about it, a negative is always to the left of a positive. Number 4, we have a 14. LCD is, break it down, 21 is 3 times 7. So we have a 2 and a 3 and a 7. And the highest power of each is 1. 6 sevens are 42. So we multiply the 14 by 3 to get 42. Multiply the 21 by 2 to get the 42. So 3 times negative 9 is negative 27 over 42. And negative 17 times 2 is negative 34 over 42. And 27 is where in relation to 34? 27 is on the right. So therefore, 42, 27, negative 27 over 42 is greater than negative 34 over 42. So that's working them out, finding the LCD, which is good practice. That's method 1. Another method is what we call cross multiplication. In other words, if A over B equals C over D, then cross multiply. A times D equals B times C. If A over B is greater than C over D, then A times D is greater than B times C. If A over B is less than C over D, then A times D is less than. So notice A times D, B times C, and whatever you see less than is a less than, greater than is a greater than. But there's one condition on this. Notice your denominators should be positive. Your denominator should be positive. Remember I said no negatives, no, and no negatives in the denominators. You should never have any negatives in your denominator when you're trying to work it out. 1/2 equals 3 over 6, then 1 times 6 equals 2 times 3. 7 over 8 is greater than 2 over 5, so 7 times 5 is greater than 8 times 2. Notice 6, go back to here, 6 equals 6. Right here, 35 is greater than 16. If that's less than, 2 times 4 is less than 9 times 3. And that's an 8 less than 27. 8 is to the left of 27. 35 is to the right of 16. Notice I put this one here, and we should have, the negative should never be in the bottom, so we should change this to, we should make it a negative 1 over 4 less than 5 over 6. Never have the negative in the bottom of a fraction. Cross multiply. Negative 1 times 6 is less than 4 times 5. Negative 6 is less than 20. True. Again, repeat. If you leave the negative in the bottom, this does not work. We haven't done solving inequalities yet, but just a reminder, when I get there, you'll remember when you do these, never have a negative in the bottom. Examples: for the statement to be true, place equals, less than, or greater than in the blanks. Here we go. 4 over 5. 4 over 5 compared to 2 over 3. 4 times 3 is compared to 5 times 2. 12 compared to 10. 12 is greater than. So 12 is greater than, that means 4/5 is greater than 2/3. Notice I have a negative in the bottom here. Be careful. Be careful. You got to have negative 3 over 4. Cross multiply. Negative 7 times 4. We're not looking at this one now. We're looking at this one. So negative 7 times 4 compared to 8 times negative 3. Negative 28 is negative 24. Negative 28 is on the left, so it's a less than. So that's less than. Look what happened. Look what would happen if you left the negative there. 4/7 are 28 compared to 24. If you left the negative there, you would get positive 28 and a 24, and 28 would be greater. So that's why the negative does not stay in the bottom. I repeat, let's let the negative stay there. Pretend you didn't move it. Cross multiply. Negative 7 times negative 4. 8 times 3. Negative 7 times negative 4. That's a 28. That's a 24. You would come up with a greater than. Then you say greater than. But you never leave a negative in the bottom. Remind you. And we have another negative. I'm really reminding you about the negative. Remove the negative from the bottom, put it in the top. And done. So we got a negative 4 times 4, and we got 11 times negative 3. Negative 16, negative 33. Negative 16 is to the right of 33, so that's greater than, so that's a greater than. Practice. Now you can work the 3 of these out yourself. Pause the video, work them out, and play it back to see if your answers are okay. Again, look what we have, a negative in the bottom again, so that's a negative 3 over 5. Driving home. Never have a negative in the bottom. So scratch that out now. So 1 times 5 compared to 6 times negative 3. 5 compared to negative 18, and it's greater. So that means 1/6 is greater than negative 3 over 5. And these are okay, so negative 4 times 8, negative 4 times 8, 7 times negative 5. You get a negative 32, and you get a negative 35. Negative 32 compared to negative 35 is greater. Negative 32 is to the right of negative 35, so that's greater, so that fraction is greater. And we have a negative and a positive. Don't even have to work it out. Why? Because the negative is always less than. So I'm going to put the less than right there right now. I don't even have to work it out. But let's go with a cross multiplication. Negative 4 times 9 and 6 times 6. Negative 36 compared to 36. Negative is less than a positive, so that's less than. So it's a less than there. Just comparing the numbers, inequalities, how one fraction compares to another, greater than or less than or equal to. That's the end of the video. And if you like the video, then click on the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, especially if this is your first time viewing what I have done, the videos. But if you see this again, then you know what I'm going to say. Write a comment on the video. Visit my math website at www.mathfullyexplained.com. You can find information in one section on me, that's about my degrees and teaching experience. A section on videos, you'll find out what strategies I'm used to help you learn your math and hints and tricks that I'll be giving. And in the section on content, you'll see the topics that I have online, the number of videos on each of the topics. Some of my topics is like have 20 videos. They're all broken down into small sections. And the black content is what's on the line already, And the black font is what's on the line already, and the red font is what's coming in the near future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.